Hi there, I'm Andrew, you're watching ThatGamerAjax, and welcome back to Tales from the Tabletop, where I regale you with a wide variety of stories that have happened over the years at my gaming tables, both as a player and as a DM. Now, this time, I actually want to tell you about a very recent story that happened where what's kind of cool about taking part in smaller tabletop games is that sometimes you get to know the creators pretty well, and sometimes you actually get to play with them. So, to kind of kick this off, I've actually been in pretty constant communication with the creator of the Veil of the Void system that I really enjoy playing. Actually, the first Tales from the Tabletop featured this system. Yeah, you can probably check it out, probably around this area if you haven't seen that yet. But because he is so enthusiastic about the game that he's made, it's very, very easy to talk with him about it and come up and even brainstorm ideas and whatnot. A few months ago, he actually approached me about hosting a one-shot for my group because we've all been playing the system for quite a while. We all love it. We've all talked about it here on the channel. While getting to be a player was absolutely amazing, what kind of astonished me next was the fact that he was also willing to be a player in a one-shot that I hosted for our Discord server. Now, this was a little intimidating for a couple of reasons. One, I am still relatively new to being a game master or a dungeon master. I've really only done it for a couple of groups, and most of the time it's either little one-offs or when it comes to Veil, it's this long-form campaign. Now, I did set this as something that was canon within my universe, and I let him know that, which kind of gave him a little bit of freedom to play test some new stuff that he's working on that could be, implemented a little bit later. I was so nervous going into this because you're running the game for the person that made it. That in itself can already be a little intimidating, but it was such a great experience. Everybody told me that they had a lot of fun. So with this story, it was relatively simple. The group was hired as a group of mercenaries, and they were basically going to go to this village, find these kids that had gone missing, and then bring them back. Pretty easy. What I was not anticipating was the fact that we were going to have a second co-creator of the game that has joined relatively recently, but she ended up making a character within 20 minutes of a couple of people not being able to make it, and we had a grand old adventure. They did a bunch of things that I was not anticipating, but luckily, because my group likes to be a little bit chaotic, I was able to adjust on the fly and really just kind of keep that momentum going. And it was great to see how much fun Trevor, the game's creator, was having throughout this entire time. You could just hear how happy he was to be there. And I have to say, as somebody that has been a GM for this game for quite some time, it is very, very freeing to be, give the reins to somebody else and, give that chance to be a player. And he told me that this is the first time that, unless he's doing little solo things for playtesting, this is the first time he's got to be a player in almost 5 years while he's been working on the game. And I'm just so happy that he was so willing to take part. He's given me some good feedback. And, again, this is something I'm going to probably be continuing to talk with him for a while. And I can definitely see that this would be something that he could come back to at some point. I'm more than happy to, keep hosting one-shots and trying to teach others about this game, because I really do think that in terms of a science fiction and fantasy setting, Veil of the Void is a great system to do this with. However, I do have to say that I hope I kept him on his toes because, he may have made all the enemies in the game, but he's not exactly able to anticipate what I can come up with. So we did throw a unique enemy at the group to be going on during combat. But as I said, we all had a lot of fun. I know that I absolutely had a blast, and the story that we told together was relatively simple, but we were able to get it done in one night, and that is more or less going to be it. So I really hope that you enjoyed this Tales from the Tabletop, and it just shows that sometimes as you kind of get really involved in the communities, you will never know who you're going to be able to meet. And I have to say that, Trevor, if you're watching this, it was an absolute pleasure to have you at my table, and I would be more than happy to have you back. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you liked what you saw and you want to hear more Tales from the Tabletop, just let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it that thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, why not consider subscribing? I really appreciate all the support. But until next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.